Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Joy-Filled Universe podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Ryan, and I just want to take a second to celebrate that Joy-Filled Universe is really doing quite well, and it makes me feel so good. I use a platform called Buzzsprout, and there is a feature where you can see where in the world your pod is being downloaded, which is ridiculously exciting. So I was checking out the stats the other day and was super thrilled to see that we are in the United States of America, the Netherlands, Canada, Panama, and Spain so far. I was like, what? This is crazy. So hello, everyone all around the world. What a dream it is to be vibing with all of you. And I'm super excited to just continuously watch our Joy-Filled Universe expand together. And I just want to say thank you all so very much for joining and listening every week. I really hope it's being helpful for you. It is such a vibe for me, so thank you. Okay, so in today's pod, we are going to talk about the power of being present. That's right, being fully here in a mental, emotional, and physical capacity, which means you're not drifting into thoughts of the past and you're not chasing those fear-based thoughts of the future. In fact, by being present, you are engaged in what is happening in your life right now with full awareness and full acceptance. And the present isn't just where life happens for you, it's where your peace is, where you grow, and where transformation happens too. And now I just want to say, you know who's really good at being present? Dogs. And you can insert cats here too if you're a cat person. And largely, I'm just going to say any animal probably, to be honest. But my dog, her name is Lily Rose Sunshine, and she is a 7.5-pound little monkey-faced Shih Tzu who literally wakes up every single day knowing that the sun came up just for her. And any human that happens to show up and traverse her path, well, she honestly believes that they are literally there just to make her life better. She never worries about where she's going to get her water. She never worries about where her food's coming from. And she certainly has zero concerns about getting tons of treats and endless belly rubs. So dogs, I'm going to say, and animals in general, they really have like a magical way of living in the present moment. Sure, they can associate past experiences with emotions like fear if they had an unfortunate experience, and also get really excited like when it's time to go out for a walk, but they don't mentally replay past trauma or anxiously imagine worst case future scenarios like humans can do. So why don't we stay present more? And if we don't, how can we do it? How can we get ourselves always back into that present state? Well, let's jump into that idea and explore why being present is so helpful to us as humans when we're just wanting to get out there and live our best lives. All right, so being present has lots to do with being mindful, which is really having full focus on the present moment without any judgment. It's about being aware of what is happening right now. And when you are living in the present, you're also practicing two really important things: awareness and acceptance. Awareness is the practice of observing your thoughts, your emotions, energy, and actions as they happen without immediate judging, and also without trying to fix or react to them. And awareness is helpful because you recognize when you're starting to operate from an autopilot subconscious perspective, or even like a low vibe energy level. And in a sense, awareness brings unconscious into the conscious. For example, if you are about to go into an interview for a job, or if you're going out on stage for a public speaking engagement, you might notice some anxiety cropping up or those nervous butterflies in your stomach. Well, rather than ignoring or reacting to this feeling, or worst case, allowing yourself to get into the state of negative self-talk, instead, just acknowledge it and explore what could be fueling it, and do so from a place of pure curiosity. Remember, no judgment here, just being curious. And then there is acceptance, which is the practice of fully allowing your current experience to be as it is without any resistance or denial. This is helpful because it keeps you from wasting valuable energy fighting reality. Instead, just acknowledge what is and decide how you're going to respond. For example, say you rearranged your very busy calendar to meet up with a friend for lunch. And at the very last minute, your friend cancels with no explanation, just a simple, hey, can't make it, but maybe next time. Well, rather than spiral into a world of frustration and fury, like, I can't believe they did this to me, or they just have no respect for my time, maybe apply that 90-second rule that we spoke about in a previous episode. That's always very helpful. And then just accept the situation for what it is and focus on what you can control. Like perhaps a better feeling thought, like, cool, they can't make it. So now I finally have some free me time and, I can listen to that Joy-Filled Universe podcast that I've been meaning to listen to. I mean, what a shameless plug. But seriously, there's a thought for you, better feeling thought. So acceptance can create emotional space for you to respond with intention and clarity versus reacting from a place of just subconscious habit. So if you decide to practice awareness and acceptance, well, then you're actually walking over the threshold of conscious choice, which basically means you're aware of your present thoughts, emotions, and energy. You have accepted your current situation as it is, not as you wish it to be. And you are intentionally getting to choose your response to what is unfolding. So I'm going to share an example with you that is very raw for me right now because it is something that I experienced today, which is why I'm doing this pod right now. So for my day job, I work in a rather large organization and I have the amazing privilege of being in a leadership position. And I really, really love my job. Well, this also happens to be the time of year where there's typically a lot of workforce churn. And in most years, I'm not really too fazed. But this year, I have some folks who are planning to retire that I'm actually very close to. And the good news is for them, they get to retire. They deserve it. They have worked very hard. They have had incredible careers. And they are all still so young and able to retire and have so much life still ahead of them. So hooray for them. I'm genuinely happy for them. But it has become very hard for me because I am now watching my friends come bouncing into work every day. They're all chatting about fun things like going to visit family and friends or making travel plans to visit beautiful places. They're going to be picking up some new hobbies and they're going to be eating right and exercising and they're all like hanging out and talking about it and they're laughing and they're feeling all kinds of happy. And guess what? I'm not really part of any of that. So where do you think my thoughts start to go? Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of an idea of what the voice in my head sounded like today. It sounded something like this. Maybe I should have planned better so I could be retiring right now too. I wish I had something to look forward to. What if I never get the opportunity to retire? When can I retire? What if they don't want to be my friend anymore? What if I drift apart from them and I never see them again? I wish I was good enough. I'm so envious. Oh my God, what will I do without them? I'm really going to miss them. I'm so sad that they're leaving. And the list goes on and on and on. And none of the above feel good to me. As a matter of fact, saying them out loud right now even creates this kind of pit in my stomach. Yet today was just this like endless spiral of punishing myself for past thoughts about what I could have done differently, or the terrifying thoughts of the future because of all the things I'm afraid or uncertain of. Well, guess what? The only thing that all of the above actually accomplished was the extensive amount of energy that I spent on either something I cannot change, which is the past, or thinking fear-based thoughts of future scenarios that will likely never come true. Unless, of course, I continue to focus on them, well, then, of course, they're going to come true. So you want to know what I did to get myself out of this negative state and back into my present? Well, first, I was very aware of my thoughts and how they were making me feel and the ungodly amount of energy I was putting into them. I also accepted all that was happening. It is what it is. It might not be what I wish it to be, but I accepted the current situation as it is. And then I intentionally chose how to respond to all that was unfolding, which included celebrating my friends, being grateful and actually writing a gratitude list, and changing my mindset with some tried and true affirmations that just brought me back to my present state of joy. So from this example, it's really clear that the past and the future can really affect your mental state and certainly knock you off your balance. In fact, did you know that depression is often linked to ruminating on the past because you're replaying regrets and losses and trauma, and these thoughts can just lead to feelings of guilt and sadness and loneliness and even anger. And then anxiety actually stems from worrying about the future, fear about what might go wrong, overthinking possible outcomes or scenarios, or even just trying to control things that are well beyond your control. So when you're looking back or looking forward through a fear-based lens, you are robbing yourself of life because you're moving away from the present, which is where your power is. Power over your emotions, your focus, and your peace. And I believe it's fair to say that fear really only exists when you step out of the present. It feeds off of the future, what if, fear-based scenarios, along with the I coulda, shoulda, woulda thoughts of the past. The more present we are, the less fear we have because we begin to trust, not because we have every detail figured out, but because we feel anchored in ourselves. We trust that the universe is always conspiring and aligning in all ways that only serve our highest good. And we know in our hearts that everything is always working out for us. So here's a good feeling thought when we stay present. Our unknowns are not something we fear or dread. In fact, they are more like just a super exciting adventure. And that level of mindfulness alone helps to create space for clarity, new ideas, inspired action, and conscious choice. Now, I just want to take a quick commercial break here, just a quick second to say, we have spoken in the past about visualizing and how it is such an effective tool when applying it towards manifesting your best life. So you might be asking yourself right now, well, isn't visualizing a way of stepping out of the present? To which I say, no way, no it isn't. Being present is actually a critical element when it comes to visualizing because you're not lost in a fantasy. You're actually choosing to create a clear mental picture with purpose. Visualizing bridges the gap between now and your desired future by helping you to align your current thoughts, energy, and actions with what you want to bring into your reality. Okay, that's what I wanted to put out there. Commercial break is now complete and we are going back to the present. So we have discussed how impactful being present can be when it comes to living your best life. And before we finish up for this week, I want to share with you a super helpful mindfulness practice that you can apply when you feel yourself drifting away from your present state. It's called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique that originates from cognitive behavioral therapy, which is based on the idea that thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are all interconnected. And by changing unhelpful thinking and behavior, you can actually change how you feel. And it's also a mindfulness-based practice that can help with anchoring us in the present moment through our senses. So it's really easy, really effective, and it goes like this. Name 5 things you can see around you. Name 4 things you can touch or feel near you. Name 3 things you can hear. Name 2 things you can smell. And name 1 thing you can taste or imagine tasting. So when you feel yourself off balance and anywhere but present, this simple technique can really help with distracting the mind and drifting thoughts, and it brings your awareness firmly back into your now. So, my friends, we have now talked about the incredible power of being present. We have learned about awareness and acceptance, aware of your present thoughts, emotions, and energy, accepting the current situation as it is, not as you wish it to be, and intentionally choosing your response. We have also learned that fear largely exists when we step out of our present and into low vibe thoughts or the past, which can trigger levels of depression, or worry about our future, which can also trigger levels of anxiety. And we also discussed the super practical mindfulness tool called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique that is a quick and easy way to call you back to your present when you start to drift. All that to say, I hope you found this episode to be very helpful. And if you did, please rate, follow, share this episode with a friend, or even a lovely review would be super helpful. All of the above really helps me out. So thank you. Thank you for taking the time. And now I want to leave you with a quote. And it's a quote I have loved for years. And I gotta say, I'm pretty sure I heard it from Winnie the Pooh. So it goes something like this. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift, which is why we call it the present. That's it for this week, my friends. I am your host, Lisa Ryan. This is the Joy-Filled Universe podcast, where we explore all the tools and tricks that are going to make your universe even more joyful than it already is. I will chat with you next week. Bye.